to order. Now whose phone is? Call a meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals to order this Monday, April 26th. Mrs. Luke, please read the preamble.
Thank you. My name is Liz Kukla. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I will read the preamble this morning. In compliance with notification requirements of Ohio's open meeting law under COVID-19 emergency declaration, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the City Planning Department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Call-in users can unmute by using *6. Next slide, please. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. The chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for public view. We have provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak on a particular case via our website and email. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comments on a particular matter. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Do a roll call, please, Liz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Donovan.
Here.
Ms. Britt.
Here.
Ms. Faith.
Present.
Ms. Barnes.
Here.
Ms. Johnson.
Here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Moving right along. We don't have any council people present that we're aware of. Okay, then we'll start with calendar 21-053 at 3227 Marvin. This is Ms.
Thank you,
Faith.
Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. Calendar number 21-053 at 3227 Marvin Avenue. BR Canez proposes to erect a 25-foot by 36-foot two-story frame single-family residence with two 20.67 by 20-foot attached garage in a B1 two-family residential district. The owner appeals for the relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record.
Thank you very much. Mr. Donovan.
Everyone for this case who's going to testify, kindly raise your right hand. I'm going to read a statement. I'm looking for the response of I do with your name. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Michael David, I do.
Anyone else? Hearing none, it's on to history.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. Liz?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There has been no change in the zoning since 1929. In the records room, I found that in 1894, a permit was issued to erect a dwelling. And in 1924, a permit was issued to erect a garage. There is one variance on file, Madam Chair, for this address. You may be familiar with it. It was calendar 19-35. A very similar variance was granted to construct a single-family home with an attached garage. There was a condition placed on that resolution. It was conditioned upon a revised site plan showing that the air conditioner unit be placed in a code conforming location. So, Madam Chair, the difference between the two cases that we're looking at today is that the side yard that was proposed or that was written up in the adjudication in 2019 stated that the side yard that was proposed is 9 feet But today we're looking at a side yard, according to the adjudication, of 7.50 or 7.50 feet. However, the site plans that we have in our file look identical, so perhaps the appellant could tell us more. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Well, no, we need the legal standard. Ms. Wagner? Hello?
Ms. Wagner, or if you're a calling user, *6 to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry, I was pressing #6. Anyway, Madam Chair, members of the board, Helen is requesting the area variance from the distance regulations of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you very much. Good morning, all. Mr. David, Michael David, are you representing VR Canez?
I am, Madam Chair.
Okay, tell us exactly what they're like to do.
Good morning. Michael David, BR Canaz Construction. We would like a variance in order to construct a 25-foot home with 7.5 feet side yard setbacks. I would like to point out and clarify that it will be a detached garage. It's been mentioned a couple times that the garage would be attached. That's not the case. It will be a rear loaded garage off the alley there. So we want to center the home in the middle of the lot. I'm not sure about the 9-foot setback that Ms. Kukla mentioned. I looked at our old plan from 2019. It also mentions 7.5 feet on either side. So I'm not sure exactly what that is referring to. I will point out for the board that a similar variance was granted for this unit back in 2019. And unfortunately, we missed the date to request renewal of that variance request. So it had lapsed, and that's why we're here today, seeking the same thing that we had asked for previously.
Madam Chair, I believe the variance is, and Chuck Okoye from Building and Housing can correct me if I'm wrong, but the variance is for the 10-foot distance from the adjacent main building on the adjacent lot. And if you can see right here where I have the cursor, there is a small bump out on the house next door, which has a 0.1 foot encroachment, I guess, over the property line. And so that puts the two houses closer than 10 feet. And that is the purpose of the variance, I believe. Chuck, you could clarify again, you're muted. So you'd have to hit *6 to unmute. And again, Mr. David is correct. We granted this variance once before. And we recommended approval last time as well. I don't know, Chuck may be having trouble.
Yeah. Well, if we did this before, we should do it again.
We support the variance. I just wanted to
Yeah.
explain what the variance was, at least
Yeah.
from my interpretation of reading it.
Thank you very much.
So
Any
Maurice,
questions?
Maurice, are you saying that the next door neighbor is encroaching into the property of this new construction?
I mean, look, I'm looking, if you can see on the screen, you can see where can you see where the mouse cursor is?
Yes.
There is a small bump out and it is labeled here 0.1 encroachment. It's not my plan. I don't know. It's a survey drawing. And so that's what I'm going on. However, I will say that if you look at the other Canez drawing, hold on. It shows the adjacent house much further away. So I don't know which drawing is correct. I'm sure it was adjudicated on the civil drawing.
Can Oz provide some illumination on this one? Which one is the right one?
So my understanding in looking at the code is that for 357B2, for a one-family district, the code requires half the height of a main building or a minimum of 10 feet to the property line, which is what we are asking for a variance for. There's also a minimum distance between main building on adjoining lots requiring 10 feet, but I believe that this meets that because I don't believe the neighboring building is over the property line.
So you're saying that the civil drawing is not correct? This drawing here?
Yeah, that
Agreed.
from 2019, I'm not sure. I'm looking at the revised one we did for 2021 that we submitted for permits and they sent us back to you guys, the customer.
Oh,
Maurice,
yes, ma'am.
the code section that he's referring to, I believe, is that the 7.6 that we see on the site plan, not the civil drawing, where that side yard is, he's required to be 10 feet away from the property line. We're not talking about the distance to the house. So it really, it must have been an error on the original write-up, because you can see that the side yard is defined in their site plan, not the civil drawing. It says 7.5 or 7.6.
Okay.
Thank you, Liz. Yeah, that is what I was referring to.
Well, like I said, we supported this before and we support it now. Nothing's changed. I just was confused with the two different drawings. That's all.
Tim, and did that answer your question, Tim?
Yeah, that answers my question. I guess when I heard the testimony, it just seemed that that's an issue. If it were indeed the case, that would have to be addressed in our language for the motion, that recognizing that, if you're saying the civil drawings are wrong, then let's just say that this is based on the other drawings.
Any other questions, board? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, given the testimony and considering we granted this variance before, I move that we grant it.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Second.
Okay. Go ahead, call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Donovan?
yes.
Ms. Faith?
Yes.
Ms. Barnes? Ms. Britt?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Calendar 21-53 is granted based upon the revised final site plan. It'll be ratified next week and we will send you a letter.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Have a good day, everyone.
Okay, you too,
You as
Michael.
well.
Okay. What is the two question marks on this upcoming one on 21054 on Wakefield, Liz?
Oh, Madam Chair, this was Maurice being extra diligent. He put this PowerPoint together before we had a calendar number.
Yeah, it was a little bit premature.
Fine.
It was still a draft agenda when I put this together, but I like to get them done way ahead of time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So go ahead, Ms. Faith.
Okay. So thanks to Maurice for using the question marks for the placeholders for the numbers. So we know that there's two digits there. Calendar number 21-054 at 5904 Wakefield Avenue. Elmhurst Home proposes to erect a two-story, 1,400 square foot, single-family residence with attached garage on a 1,827 square foot lot in a B1 two-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record.
Thank you very much, Ms. Faith. Go ahead, Tim.
Everyone that's going to testify for this case, kindly raise your right hand. Again, I'll read a statement. The response I'm looking for is I do with your name. Here we go. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do, Paul Began.
I do, Adam Davenport.
Anyone else? Hearing none, we go to history.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Mrs. Kukla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. I didn't find any records in the building and housing records room. There are no variances on file for that address, and in the more recent history in our Acela system, I found that in 2011, a permit was issued to demolish a 1.5-story dwelling. That's all that I have.
Thank you very much. The legal standard, please, Ms. Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting area variances from the maximum gross floor area and rear yard regulations of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you very much. Paul, are you going to be the spokesperson?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you very much.
Okay.
This is a land bank lot. As such, we have gone through and met with HDRS. We have general support from Detroit Shoreway and our new council person in the area for this project. It's an infill of an existing land bank lot. It is a corner lot. The alley, West 59th Place, is right next door. And really the request for the variance is for the area. It's a small lot, and we are putting a smaller house on there with an attached garage to it.
Tell me what the difference in the colors are. Is there some?
Yeah, something's not quite right on this one, and I'm not sure. It might have been when the PDF got transferred over. It seems like things are not quite in the right
Okay.
place exactly. So the red is supposed to be over where the house is. If you kind of take a look, it looks like the house itself got shifted over because you can kind of see where the dimensions are supposed to be on this particular one.
Oh, I just noticed this.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that is. Mine doesn't look like
Yeah.
that, but stranger things have happened with
That's
electronic
bizarre.
transmission documents.
Yeah. It's my first question. Okay, how have you addressed the 1 and 2 on the adjudication?
Yes, the City Planning Commission, the HDRS committee has approved this project.
Okay, great.
And well, of course, Adam is here to speak to this, but
Yes, I want to hear from Adam Davenport.
Good morning. This is, I think it's a little bit of a unique situation, but we're probably going to see more of this as houses are built in this section of Detroit Shoreway. Some of these small corner lots have the ability for alley access, which is great. And then we're avoiding the front-loaded garage situation on more of a main street. But the small lot still kind of creates a problem with the house area. So we reviewed it in HRS. We're happy with the site plan, happy with the house. We think it fits in the neighborhood.
Thank you very much, Adam. Okay, any questions, board? Now I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, given the testimony that we heard from Mr. Began, the approval of HDRS, city planning, and Councilman Spencer through Mr. Began in her absence, looks like a nice way to problem solve this situation and take advantage of the side street. Landscape plantings look like excellent choices as well. So I motion that we approve this variance.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Britt,
Yes.
Mr. Donovan,
Yep.
Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Ms. Faith,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Calendar 21-54 is granted. It'll be ratified next week and we will send you a letter.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on your short docket today.
Thank you. We're thrilled.
I know, as was I. Thank you very much. Have a good week.
Okay.
You
Thank
too.
Calendar 20-187.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This case was postponed from April 5th, 2021. Calendar number 20-187. This is First National Bank of Pennsylvania appealing a violation number V200192223 issued by Building and Housing at 2160 West 98th Street. First National Bank of Pennsylvania owner appeals under the authority of Section 76-6 of the Charter of the City of Cleveland and Section 329.02D of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances to dispute the decision of Building and Housing to issue violation number V200192223 regarding change or substitution of use without a certificate of occupancy at 2160 West 98th Street on September 16th, 2020. This was filed October 16th, 2020 without testimony. The first and second postponements made at the request of the appellant due to scheduling conflicts and other pending litigation with the county. To you, Mr. Donovan.
Everyone for this case is going to provide testimony. Kindly raise your right hand. I'm going to make a statement. I'm looking for a response. What I do with your name. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do, John Monroe.
Anyone
I
else?
do, Vicky Trippy.
Could you speak up, please?
I do, Vicky Trippy with First National Bank.
Okay. Anyone else? No city? All right, hearing none, we move forward. History.
Thank you.
Don't need history.
Right. No, we don't. We need the legal standard, please, Ms. Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is appealing an administrative decision. The standard review to be applied is whether the administrative decision was illegal, arbitrary, capricious, unreasonable, or unsupported by the preponderance of substantial, reliable, and probative evidence. If the appellant fails to meet this burden, the administrative decision must be affirmed.
Thank you very much. John Monroe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is John Monroe. I'm with the law firm of Mansur Gavin. I'm here on behalf of the appellant, First National Bank of Pennsylvania. I'm joined by Vicky Trippy. She is the commercial OREO analyst, special assets with First National Bank of Pennsylvania. We're actually here today to request a 90-day extension of the compliance date for the September 17, 2020 notice of violation, V2001-9223, for vacant land known as 2160 West 98th Street, Cleveland, Ohio, 44102, permanent parcel number 005-21-094. The notice of violation suggests that there has been a change of use due to someone living in a mobile home on a vacant lot. We believe it was the RV owner owned by the tenants of the adjacent property at 2156 West 98th. As stated in our appeal statement, the subject parcel is vacant land adjacent to a stalled condominium project. On the screen in front of you, you can actually see the condominiums are on the bottom left in the notch of the yellow square. What happened was that this project faltered in 2007, 2008. The parcel was returned to the bank as part of a deed in lieu of foreclosure. However, there were multiple liens on the property from the project, including liens from Village Capital, Cudell Improvement, and the City of Cleveland. I personally contacted each of the representatives of those organizations to try to transfer the property to them. Each refused due to the liens on the property. The only way to clear the liens on the property is to go through the foreclosure process. The county, through its Board of Revision, has undertaken the foreclosure. The property was scheduled for sale on April 14th. However, there were no bidders. It is again rescheduled for sale on April 28th. It is our understanding that if there is no sale, the property should be transferred to the city's land bank, free and clear of any of the liens that I had mentioned. In the interim, First National Bank has taken steps to alleviate any of the negative effects of this alleged violation. We sent a cease and desist letter to both the landlord and to the tenant of the property next door, indicating that they should move their RV off of the bank's lot. We posted no trespassing signs, and in the future, we'll contact the Cleveland Police Department if there are future unlawful uses of the premises. And so accordingly, based on all that, we request that the compliance date be extended to Monday, July 26th, so that the parcel can transfer, hopefully, to the city's land bank, free and clear of the liens, and that the problem will be resolved. I would note for the record also that there was another parcel that was development that did properly go through the foreclosure process into the county. Unfortunately, this parcel got stuck along the way. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your consideration of this request. And Ms. Trippi and I will be available for any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Madam Chair, in the world we live in, excuse me, the world we live in, is this basically asking for a postponement?
Mr. Monroe?
However, the board would like to handle it, it would be fine with the bank, whether it's a postponement in the appeal or just extending the compliance date.
Who is the prime partner you're dealing with on the other side of the table, if you will? Is it the city or the county?
Well, the county is initiating the foreclosure process, and due to the COVID, it was delayed for months, years, actually. So this foreclosure actually started in 2019. And so it's kind of a situation where there's so many layers that it's difficult to get any one particular party to make a move to which could compromise their position. So unfortunately, it's just a process that has to be gone through.
Right, it would have been nice to have someone representing either the city or the county to affirm your testimony.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Yeah,
this is Liz. I did receive an email from Inspector Bartley speaking on behalf of Inspector Lang, who issued the violation. He stated that Inspector Lang closed the violation number V20019-223 on March 19th. Says that the motorhome was not on the defendant's property at the time of his inspection. And that's it. That's what he had there. That's all.
so does that basically close the case for us? I mean, if our case is about that, basically lined up against the violation notice, and the violation notice has now been dropped, do we really have a role, or is this something we just dismiss?
Maybe I could jump in here again. This is John Monroe. That is news to us. The last I had heard, the violation notice was still open. I think if the notice of violation has been closed, then we can dismiss our appeal because there's nothing to appeal.
Exactly. So Liz, can you send quickly forward that email if you can do that to
Absolutely.
John? And John, you can read it and tell us how you read it. And we have Lori, you can read it, tell us how you read it. And if everybody agrees, then it sounds like a dismissal to me.
Yeah, I think what I could do just is to dismiss the appeal without prejudice, and I'll rely that what Ms. Kukla is telling us is correct. I have no reason to believe otherwise. And I don't want to take your time up today, ladies and gentlemen.
Lori, what do you think?
Ms. Wagner?
Was it just a violation notice, or was there some kind of penalty imposed?
Maurice should have a copy of the violation here.
I don't.
It's in our appeal packet, but it's I can just tell you there's only one count in the alleged violation, and that's for a change of use.
Which would refer to the motorhome.
Yes, the RV, yeah.
I mean, technically, if the city isn't attempting to impose a penalty for that violation, then this appeal could still be viable. I don't know what the facts are here. If it was just a violation notice, asking them to get rid of it. And I mean, in any event, they have a right to dismiss, clearly. But they have a right to dismiss their appeal.
Well, we would dismiss it, right? Not them. They would maybe request that we dismiss it, but.
Yes.
And that's what you're doing, John. Am I right on
That is correct. We would like to make a motion to dismiss the appeal based on the notice of violation being closed.
I'm sure I would take that testimony and offer the resolution that the Board of Appeals would dismiss the case, given the testimony and the email evidence from the city that they have dropped their case in terms of the use of the property because the motorhome has gone away.
Oh,
Liz, is this the,
What you're looking at there is the foreclosure. That's the actually degree of foreclosure where the judge has said, yes, this property should be sold at foreclosure, and it has the dates of April 14th in there and April 28th. So the problem's going to be solved, I guess, is the short answer.
yes,
Hopefully sooner rather than later.
right. Okay. Now, is it still going for sale on April 28th, John?
It is.
So you should know shortly thereafter.
Yes, we should know that day. Actually, Wednesday, I guess. Yeah.
Well,
But Madam Chair, we have nothing.
to July, you asked for a July date.
Well, he's actually asking for a dismissal now, I believe.
That's
Okay.
correct. Yeah, based on the new evidence that we've received.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't see
For
any
that-
reason, I made a
Sorry.
motion, maybe we
Yeah,
should ask if somebody's gonna second that or
Yeah,
not.
I was gonna second until people started talking. So
Okay, go ahead, Kelly. You
second,
seconded? Thank you. Okay, call the roll.
Ms. Faith,
Yes, I'm in agreement.
Ms. Britt,
yes.
Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Mr. Donovan,
Yep,
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Calendar 20-187 is dismissed without prejudice. It'll be ratified next week and we'll send you a letter.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time this morning.
Thank you, John. Good to see you.
Yep.
Okay, old business 1 through 5 without objection.
without objection.
Objection.
Okay, and a request for an affirmation on 2 cases, 20-141 and 20-142. Everything is on the July, hopefully. Without objection?
Without objection.
Without objection.
Without objection.
Okay.
Is there an opportunity for the board